inquired from Fingal County Council. Now, when we get to the end of this, people will be wanting to know why the project is a little later than we thought it would be. The purchase of the school site was a lot longer than we would have envisaged, and I'm not putting any blame on anybody here, but the expectations of Fingal County Council and the expectations of the Department of Education didn't quite match up as to what the price or the cost of the site would be. So they were a longer protracted period than we would have envisaged. We then were sanctioned to go for actually procure the site, or sort of procure the project. Now we had to advertise the project in what's known as the OJU, it's a European journal. That was the 23rd of June 2008. We had a receipt of expressions of interest in July 2008. The pre-qualifications report, request for tenders, tender reports, tender report again, and a letter of intent. Now the letter of intent, after this long protracted period, we're down to one preferred contractor for the building of the school. Now, and I think there was a letter published here from the Minister to the school community about due diligence. You will be aware that we're in a very different world than we were 2 years ago, and the level of scrutiny of intended builders regarding their capacity to build the school within the next 18 months and the insurance associated with that is a lot more rigorous than it would have been, say, 2 years ago. The site was acquired by ourselves. Now, just in an inquiring of that, we are the owners of the site, but the Department of Education provides the money for it, and all the negotiations in that regard were directly between Fingal County Council and the Department of Education. And it's only when they have reached agreement on that to put us in funds to buy the site. So we're now the legal and beneficial owners of the site from the 8th of September. Now, nothing could have happened before that. We have done a lot of the pre-qualifying and the tendering ahead of that, on the basis that would be forthcoming. Just by way of interest, the site is 10.2 acres, but there's 3 acres of that reserved for the Educate Together primary school. And when I say that we actually own the site, the peculiarity of this is we will be leasing 3 acres of that on a 99-year lease back to the Department of Education, who are the client for the building of the primary school. So we are in discussion at the moment with the nominated builder, who is at this stage, the only item left outstanding is that they have to acquire an insurance bond will cover the building program in the event of anything happening to them, that they wouldn't be able to finish the project. Now, as I said earlier, that usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks, between 2 to 4 weeks to acquire. They're already 10 days into that period. However, before we can issue a letter of acceptance, which is de facto the contract point, although we will have a lot of documentation to sign later on about the contract and the various subsets of that, once you issue the letter of acceptance, you are actually into a contractual position. We are not allowed to issue that letter of acceptance until the Department of Finance themselves have seen the insurance bond in this regard. So there's that level of due diligence in the present environment that we are working. The projection then on where we are from this, and I looked up before I came out, I was here, I've been here a number of times, but I looked up in November 2007, there was a projected that the building would be, the projection was that the building would be ready for September 2010. That will not be met. There's no way around that. That will not be met. But we're preparing the planning application. This building, once we award the contract, it's what we call a design and build. And notwithstanding the design that you have seen, there are further details to be done on that, which will be the developer or the builder will have to do. And they are responsible for lodging the application for planning. The statutory period for that is 2 months. with a possible final grant of permission 1 month after that. A commencement notice is 2 weeks after that, and the commenced construction will be, this is a 12-month project, and the school will be completed in the spring of 2011. Now, people have concerns which we have heard expressed. Will the money be there to build the project? Will it be pulled? I can say categorically that there is no danger to this project. We're at the stage of the final insurance bond period, and once those are in place, we would anticipate that the actual issue of the letter of acceptance would be in about somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks, and after that there is nothing that can stop the project. The contract will be in place. We have been assured by the Department of Education there is no question of the money being pulled or threats in the future budget, whatever. This is it's beyond the part of any threats within that. Okay, so we're in a quasi contract position on this school at this point in time. So that's the reality of the situation that we're in at the moment. I think there's a question and answers. So we will endeavour to answer as best we can. I should say there's one other thing, that the primary school, when the planning application in relation to the Educate Together primary school, the department are the client for the building of the primary school, we're the client for the building of the post-primary school, but Fingal County Council have requested, and we're all in agreement on that, is that the planning notices for both schools have to be choreographed to go in together, so that any conditions applying to one will be equal to both. So in other words, the one school going ahead of the other might result in some consequential issues for the other school. So both schools are to be lodged together, and the department and ourselves, along with Fingal County Council, will be choreographing that. Okay? So that's where we're at the moment.